Hey there, you probably know Jazmin Bean if you clicked on this video. If you're not familiar with Jazmin Bean, they're known for their super original aesthetic like hyper-surreal, creepy cute, genre-bending music, and wild makeup. Jazmin also has an art page called Paints. They identify as a gender and use they/them pronouns. Jazmin has 2 albums, Worldwide Torture, which showcase their unique blend of pop metal, trap metal, grunge, alternative pop. Their debut studio album, Traumatic Livelihood, delves into themes of trauma and recovery, reflecting personal experiences, including their time in rehabilitation for ketamine addiction. So the reason this video was made, not to be dramatic, but I think we need to talk about this copycat situation. Someone is literally copying Jazmin, literally wanting to be Jazmin, and stealing Jazmin's work. Just to mention, this is not just about copying or stealing. This has more deep topics, dramas, and problematic stuff. The person I'm talking about is called Azure Sprites, and they've basically started copying everything Jazmin Bean does, like literally everything. To break it down, Azure began posting with the same makeup looks, aesthetic, and music style strikingly similar to Jazmin's, and the copying hasn't stopped. When Jazmin shifted their music genre and artistic themes, Azure quickly followed with almost identical changes. They've tried doing this with multiple artists, constantly changing their persona to match whoever they're currently interested in. And that's just the beginning. A long list of other actions, including problematic actions, comes with it, which we'll cover later in the video. Being inspired is one thing. Artists influence each other all the time, but this crosses a serious line. It's obsessive, it's disrespectful, and it's gone way too far. There's also more copying and missing information that unfortunately wasn't saved or shown, but it further adds to the ongoing pattern. This video will show only the most relevant ones. Let me break down the full story behind the drama between Azure Sprites and the Jazmin Bean fans. It all started in 2022, when Azure Sprites began mimicking Jazmin Bean's entire aesthetic. Extreme makeup, pastel goth visuals, similar music style, and even tagging Jazmin constantly to collaborate. Despite being ignored, Azure kept up this behavior on Instagram for the rest of the year. In 2023, nothing had changed. The first drama erupted in the summer, when fans started pointing out Azure's obsession. Things escalated when Jazmin teased new music, and Azure posted 2 of Jazmin's unreleased snippets on their own account. Then, when Jazmin's unreleased track Happy People leaked, Azure uploaded a version of it with their own vocals, without crediting Jazmin again. Fans called Azure out for copying and stealing content. Their explanation was they were just reposting it, which didn't make sense. They also claimed they were trying to remake the song, but offered no real explanation. Drama broke out in a Jazmin Discord server, but Azure continued with the same behavior. Throughout the rest of 2023, the copying didn't stop, even after being called out on Twitter. Later that year, Azure released a song that many believed was a diss track aimed at Jazmin's fans, included the F-slur, mentioning Jazmin in the song. Despite this, Azure offered no clear explanation or apology for using the slur. In 2024, the behavior continued, copying, tagging Jazmin, and still refusing to take accountability. Though there wasn't a major drama early in the year, things picked up again at summer. They posted about drama involving their friends, accusing Azure for copying. Instead of addressing the accusations, Azure and their circle dismissed it all as trauma, and even referenced SA, despite the situation having nothing to do with that. Sadly, there was no evidence saved of this, but many people confirm it happened. There was also a small server-related drama again, where Azure accused the fans of being the obsessed ones, then leaving the server. On YouTube, under a video of an unreleased Jazmin song, where Jazmin fans brought up accusations of copying Azure responded in the comments by calling them obsessed. Later, Azure blatantly recreated some of Jazmin's most vulnerable photos, taken during a difficult time, claiming it was to represent their own addiction. Not long after, they posted saying that if they couldn't stop comparing their life to others, they'd have to quit the app. Then, following the leak of Jazmin's unreleased song Vainglorious, Azure quickly used it without giving any credit again, further continuing their ongoing pattern of copying and theft.
I don't fuck with the silly things, the stabbing pains, the diamond rings. I'm gonna be vainglorious, untouchable.
In 2025, things escalated once again. Azure had already shown a clear pattern of copying by using several of Jazmin Bean's unreleased tracks without credit. That year, they reportedly attempted to recreate even more unreleased songs, including Bleeding Wings, once again failing to mention Jazmin or give proper credit. Despite how blatant the copying had become, very few people spoke up at first.
I say sorry way too much. Ages of smothered art. My time is now, so fuck off.
Another thing happened. Jazmin posted a Q and A on their art page, and someone asked why they don't spend time on their own Discord server. Jazmin explained they will ask their team to delete it because of dramas, which is why they avoid it. However, those dramas never involved Azure. Then, Azure actually asked Jazmin to delete, claiming fans were harassing them, even though the topic was completely unrelated and didn't involve harassment on Jazmin's Discord server at all. The story was eventually removed. Then, in the summer, the drama resurfaced. Azure again rejoined the fan server, claiming the fans were the obsessed ones. Worse, Azure was reportedly speaking inappropriately to minors and later left the server. Azure rejoined the server once again, this time alongside their online friends they referred to as defenders, many of whom weren't fully aware of the situation. They began accusing fans of being obsessed, and even labeled them as racist and transphobic, simply for calling out the copying. Just days later, after rejoining again, they repeated the same accusations. When people began DMing Azure and their friends with a compiled list of their behavior and screenshots, the defenders stayed silent, then blocked them. Azure did respond on Instagram, but their reply didn't address any of the accusations. Instead, they claimed Jazmin doesn't own a style or music style. Azure dismissed the fans as obsessed and denied all the allegations, calling them lies, including the rumors. Responding, they just like to repost the snippets, which doesn't make sense. They also replied to the rumor showing a dead animal, admitting it was a dead bird, but downplaying how disturbing it was. Additionally, they said there's no point in clocking them. They also confirmed that they were bullied and called it SA, which still doesn't make sense. After all of this, they responded by posting this, which is a whole lie. I want to make it clear that this response goes way too far and is completely untrue. This isn't inspiration, it's outright copying. You're stealing Jazmin's hard work, others too, and mimicking their lifestyle. Jazmin's fans never stalked you. That's entirely fabricated. In fact, the fans who saved screenshots of your strange behavior were actually following you. People spoke up because your actions were unacceptable and genuinely strange. You also claim to have received death threats, which is false. Honestly, only one person said something like this negative, and we acknowledge and apologize for that. But not every Jazmin fan behaved that way. At this point, you're lying about everything to play the victim, while we have clear proof of your actions. Here's a list of the most relevant things they have done: copying and imitation, repeatedly copying Jazmin Bean's style, makeup, and aesthetic, stealing Jazmin's art style, originally by Etta Swang Paints, mimicking Jazmin's Instagram and TikTok posts, recreating poses, outfits, and acting, copying Jazmin's music theme, reposting Jazmin's music snippets as their stealing unreleased Jazmin songs, not giving credit, encouraging people to leak Jazmin's unreleased tracks, spamming, tagging, and obsessively messaging Jazmin for collab or attention, planning a fake tour supposedly inspired by Jazmin twice, but never happened, recreating Jazmin's vulnerable photos from their lowest moments, also accused of copying and doing the same with Salvia, Melanie Martinez, and many artists. Extras, more weird behavior. I want to say it again. There's way more stuff that didn't got saved or shown. Let's move to the serious allegations for cancellation. According to ChatGPT, these reasons are more than enough grounds for cancellation. Copying and impersonation, including recreating Jazmin's vulnerable photos from their lowest moments. Intellectual property theft, involving the use of Jazmin's original and unreleased work without credit many times. Racist behavior, attributing actions saying white people, or white woman, or saying white like a powdered donut, and white people are desperate for culture. Sexist behavior, including repeated instances of sexualizing and objectifying another person. Aestheticizing violence in a song twice, even as a joke, doesn't excuse or lessen the harm. Possible animal cruelty, such as twice posting disturbing images of a dead bird. Sexual misconduct involving minors, even if framed as a joke, which remains entirely inappropriate and unacceptable. Thank you for watching the video, and please spread this if you can, because this is unacceptable. Have a nice day.